Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So today we're going to be talking about Senator Kamala Harris from the state of California, first elected in 2016, and pretty much one of the darlings of the Democratic Party versus, of course, the incumbent president, Donald Trump. So, this election is actually really interesting. There are times where I believe Harris was unstoppable, and there are times like today where I believe that Donald Trump could narrowly edge out a victory. And my reasoning behind that is mainly the divide in the Democratic Party. Before, a number of Democrats would have gotten on board with Kamala Harris, but now we've seen pretty much a drift, like we saw in 2016 between the Clintonites and the Bernie Sanders supporters, and it wasn't so good. I mean, if Hillary had held on to those Bernie Sanders supporters, she would have won the Rust Belt states and would have won the presidency. But obviously she didn't. Kamala Harris is already starting to get a bad name for herself amongst the progressive minority part of the Democratic Party, which could definitely turn into a majority coming around 2020. The progressive movement has definitely gained traction since the election of Donald Trump, with more people eventually getting involved in things like primaries, things that they normally wouldn't care about, or starting informing themselves or educating themselves on issues. And I don't think that's good for Kamala Harris. I think she would have easily won a nomination maybe back in 2016 or 2012 if Obama wasn't running. But we're coming to a time in 2020 where the Democrats can't really take bets. They can't take risks. And that's why I believe that they'll end up with a nominee as someone like Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders, people they know or at least they think can win. Kamala Harris is an African-American woman. That already puts her in two minority sections. Hillary Clinton couldn't win. Barack Obama could win, but he was also a man. Yes, there is a such thing as a sexist voter, and there is a such thing as a racist voter. Both things are not prominent, but they do exist in the United States. I don't think it's enough to affect the outcome of an election, but they're still there. And a number of people have been pointing to Kamala Harris as someone who can appeal to both women and African-American voters. But Hillary Clinton didn't do so well appealing to women voters as everyone thought she would. The younger generation of women, believe it or not, sure, they're more liberal, but they don't understand. I shouldn't even be really speaking on the issue, but I'm just saying it's like blatant. People who weren't restricted from doing anything as a woman don't understand the struggle of the people that were. Or if you grew up in a time where women were looked down on or as weren't as valued as equally as men, and then you come up born in like the 2000s or the 1990s, and then all of a sudden everyone sees you as an equal because you're a woman or because you're a man, you're both equal. You don't understand the struggle of the people that are part of the older generation. And really had to struggle with being a woman, and that's something that's going to be a huge disconnect between people in the Democratic Party. They're going to have people who are like, yes, we should have a woman president, it's about time, and then there's going to be people like, that was a prominent thing with Geraldine Ferraro. Her daughter endorsed Barack Obama in the 2008 primary, but Ferraro had endorsed Hillary Clinton for the 2008 Democratic primary, and she kind of went off on her on national television, and it really just showed one of the prime examples of a disconnect between generations. Her daughter not fully understanding what Ferraro had to go through as a woman vice presidential candidate, to then completely doing a 180 and doing different from the rest of her family and endorsing another candidate. And she didn't really see the importance of a female president. And that's why I really don't see the numbers of women driving up for a female candidate. Some people are like, it's about time, but then again, there's still that disconnect, and there's still that generation gap where some women may not vote for a woman candidate because they don't think it's the right time or they don't think it's needed. And that's not going to play the best for the Democrats. So enough talking about that. That's pretty much a video about issues, but so this election probably would go pretty swiftly. I mean, we have two candidates, both who will have a little bit of party issues, and we're not going to see much backlash from Donald Trump towards Kamala Harris as we saw for Hillary Clinton, because she doesn't really have as much dirt, but I think they'll find something. They'll definitely be able to find something. There are already some conspiracy theories that are completely false, but some people still believe them. Same thing about Hillary Clinton, things like Pizzagate, things that came off like Drudge Report or Breitbart that are completely false, like whatsoever. If it's not even worth it. I'll just go off into like a 10-minute video about it. But in general, fake news in general, which is not CNN, it's like right-wing, not right-wing, but like alt-right-wing. You kind of understand like the extremist type where they make up anything to shame candidates, to make them look like someone they're not. And it's prominent on both sides, but mainly we see it coming from like alt-right websites. It's pretty interesting to say the least. But I've already started seeing those circulate about Kamala Harris and speculation of her running. I think that her image will definitely be hurt by 2020, and I think they'll do the same thing they did to Hillary Clinton, which was constantly berate her, constantly tie her to things that she may or may not have been involved in, which haven't been proven or are on trial to be proven, things like that. I think she'll be definitely seen as a threat, but I think the Republican Party, they've handled it before. I think they'll be able to handle it again. So pretty much in this election, Trump would probably do pretty well, but he won't win more than he won in 2016. I can tell you that straight off the bat, just based off approval rating polls and where he stands nationally. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to carry Arizona or Georgia. Those aren't really in right now for the Democrats. It's possible, but not right now. And I do think she'll hold on to New Mexico and Colorado. I also think she'll hold on to Nevada, just being able to have that in her sphere of influence, her being able to appeal to these people better than someone from the Northeast. And the fact that Trump's approval rating is 42% in the state of Nevada. I think she'll be able to hold on to Minnesota. She'll lose Iowa. She'll lose Ohio. She'll lose North Carolina. But she'll carry Virginia. And pretty much we're going to see a similar thing across typical swing states in 2016. I think Kamala Harris could carry New Hampshire, which is becoming a little bit more Democratic. Up in Maine, I think Trump would still carry that 2nd district. But now it comes down to the 75 electoral votes. And I don't think Kamala Harris will do the best in the Rust Belt, to be completely honest with you. She can spike African-American turnout, but that won't be, it's not necessarily going to be, it won't be enough to put her over the top. The disconnect between women, we'll probably see the same margins for women, and we'll probably see just a little bit more African-American turnout, but again, it probably won't be enough to flip a number of these states. I think Trump will hold on to Pennsylvania. I think he'll hold on to Wisconsin. Both of these states voted more than Michigan vote total wise. And Michigan is the one that voted for Donald Trump the least, and his approval rating is the lowest here across the Rust Belt. Just not including Minnesota, but amongst the states that he won, his approval rating is lowest in Michigan. So, it's not the best news for the president. Down in Florida, though, it is possible for Kamala Harris victory. I think she will narrowly edge out the state. Just for the pure reason that Florida has become increasingly more Democratic with demographic shifts, some recent events that you all know about. A lot of things have been pointing towards a more Democratic Florida. And the final state, this one is a pure toss-up, Michigan. I don't know how it'll turn out. I think Trump could narrowly take it. But then again, Kamala Harris would be in good, at the beginning of this video, I had Michigan going to Trump. But now I'm not so sure. Now that I've been talking through it, these are, that's like all of these videos. I come in with like a predetermined map based off like research, and then when I'm going through it, there are some things that I miss and things that I need to like reevaluate. So Michigan, I don't know. I don't want to leave that as a pure toss-up. Clearly, I'm going to have to make a decisive decision for the winner. But Michigan, that one's going to be really close. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Kamala Harris could narrowly edge out Michigan. But this does not by any means make her a landslide victor. Neither would it for the president. It would have been the same exact margin if it turned either way. But in Michigan, keep your eye on Michigan. 277 electoral votes for Senator Kamala Harris, making her the 46th president to 261 for President Donald Trump. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.